The crackle of the stun gun shattered the stillness of morning in the quiet suburb of Silverwood Pines. It was a sound so foreign to the perfectly trimmed hedges, the chirping of robins, and the rhythmic buzz of lawn mowers that it may as well have been thunder in a church. And for Naomi Briggs, a paramedic with over a decade of emergency experience, it was a sound she would never forget. Naomi had seen trauma. She had treated victims of shootings, strokes, domestic violence. She had pulled children from burning cars and held the hands of the dying as they slipped away. But nothing in her training had prepared her for being tasered on a perfectly manicured front lawn while trying to save a life. Her body collapsed to the grass in a crumpled heap, every nerve ending ablaze. She had been responding to 911 call a woman named Gloria Harris, 77 years old, with a known cardiac condition. Her husband, Douglas, had phoned in a panic. "She can barely breathe. Please, hurry." Naomi and her partner, Brian, had raced through the gates of Silverwood Pines in their clearly marked ambulance. Sirens off per community ordinance, but emergency lights flashing. Except they never made it to the door. Standing like a sentry at the entrance to Unit 84 was Cole Jennings, the HOA's head of private security. A former military contractor with a buzz cut and a badge sewn onto his chest, Cole had become infamous among residents for his uncompromising enforcement of community policies. He stopped them cold. No entry without prior authorization. No gate code. No exception. Naomi showed her badge, pointed to the ambulance, begged him. "This is a cardiac arrest call. She could die." "Protocol," he snapped. Brian stayed in the vehicle, tried to reach the on-call community liaison for clearance. Naomi, desperate, stepped forward. "I'm a certified paramedic on an active emergency call," she said. "Then call your supervisor," Cole replied. "I'm the senior officer on this call," she shot back, lifting her ID again. Then came the spark, the noise, the white-hot pain. Naomi woke seconds later on the ground, disoriented. A neighbor screamed. Brian was at her side. The call the woman Gloria. She died minutes later, alone, her chest stilled before medical hands could reach her. A county examiner pronounced her dead just outside her own living room. The community buzzed with fury. Silverwood Pines, a neighborhood known for seasonal garden contests and bake sale wars, was now the epicenter of a media firestorm. The incident, caught partially on a porch cam, showed Cole raising the taser and Naomi's body, jerking mid-step. It went viral. The Silverwood Pines HOA board was thrown into chaos. They had approved the hiring of Cole's firm. They had authorized increased security protocols after a string of petty thefts a year prior. They had insisted on a zero-tolerance gate policy. Now, they were liable. Douglas Harris, racked with grief and unable to sleep in a home he had shared with Gloria for 52 years, filed a wrongful death suit. Every member of the HOA board was named. The charge, obstructing emergency medical aid resulting in death. Media vans parked outside the clubhouse. Reporters hounded residents. "Do you feel safe? Do you support your board?" Residents who once voted on Halloween decor now debated civil liabilities and moral culpability. Naomi, meanwhile, sat in a quiet hospital room, a sling on her shoulder and tears in her eyes. She filed criminal charges against Cole. Her arm twitched randomly. Her nights were restless. "I did everything I was trained to do," she whispered. The board convened emergency meetings. Some members argued to terminate Cole immediately and issue a public apology. Others balked. Legal exposure. Precedent. If they admitted fault now, what next? Alan McCarthy, the board president, was particularly firm. He had championed the enhanced security measures. Years ago, his home had been burglarized while his children slept inside. He was convinced that lax rules led to chaos. But now those rules had killed someone. He met with Naomi's supervisor, with Douglas. Even tried to contact Naomi directly. His offers were always the same: condolences, then discussions of settlement. Douglas refused. Gloria's life wasn't a legal inconvenience. It was a human one. With attorney Maya Delgado, now representing the Harrisas, the lawsuit expanded. Maya was sharp, unflinching, and charismatic. She uncovered board emails that discussed uninterrupted perimeter enforcement and zero-flex policies. In deposition after deposition, board members faltered. Did you ever consider paramedic access? We assumed the guard would use discretion. Was that in his training manual? We didn't specify. Naomi gave her own statement. She described every second of that morning, every plea, every policy, every flash of pain. Her words were clipped, professional. But the courtroom was still. No one doubted her. Not even Cole, who sat hunched beside his own lawyer, his face unreadable. The trial dragged into autumn. Residents packed folding chairs at town halls. Arguments erupted between neighbors. A petition circulated. Reform the board. Reform the rules. Then came the twist. Investigators found that Cole's firm lacked the proper state licensing for taser deployment. The HOA had not verified this. More charges. The day of the verdict was gray-cold. Inside the packed courtroom, Maya stood tall. "This is not about hating rules," she said. "It's about remembering why we make them. For people. For moments like a wife struggling to breathe." The jury ruled unanimously. The HOA was guilty of negligence resulting in wrongful death. Damages exceeded $10 million. The security firm was barred from operating in the state. Cole Jennings was arrested and charged with felony assault. The board dissolved. Alan McCarthy resigned. Some residents moved away, unable to bear the shame. Others stayed and began rebuilding. Naomi returned to work 6 months later. She was slower, more cautious, but just as fierce. Douglas donated a portion of his settlement to fund EMS training scholarships. The first recipient was Naomi's niece. Silverwood Pines now welcomes ambulances with open gates. No codes, no questions, just care. And with each call that Naomi answered from then on, she carried with her the silent vow that no policy, no protocol would ever again stand between her and the life she was there to save.